Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear students, today we talk about the knowledge management. And in the knowledge management, we talk about tools and techniques of capture of tacit knowledge. We have already discussed it in detail, the tacit knowledge, and lots more. Today we talk about the capture tools and techniques. Okay, so at the end of this lesson, you should be able to define and describe the knowledge capture process. Firstly, this is important, the process. And the knowledge actually is in the brain of the experts. You need to identify experts. You need to discuss the pros and cons of using single versus multiple experts. Should we use a single expert or we should go for the multiple experts? Okay. We can use the interview as a knowledge capture tools, but we have other tools also like brainstorming, the Delphi method. We talk about those things maybe in the next video. Okay. Right. In this video, we may concentrate on knowledge capture process and single expert versus the multiple experts and interview as a knowledge capture tool. Okay. Okay. So what is a knowledge capture process? So we already discussed this diagram. So this is actually the life cycle of knowledge management system. You first need to evaluate existing infrastructure. We told you that if you have the normal systems which you develop, the software systems, for example, there you have the users you talk to, but here you are talking to the experts. There you try to build something different, but here the knowledge is within the organization. So you have to evaluate existing infrastructure, right? Then form the knowledge management team, then you do the knowledge capture, then you do, actually build the blueprint of knowledge management system, then you verify and validate, then you iterate it. Okay, you repeat the steps to make it perfect, to all remove all the loopholes and all. Okay, then you when it's perfect, then you implement the knowledge management system. Okay, you manage change and reward structure, then you do the post system evaluation after you are implementing the system and all. So this is another way of looking it. Okay, this is the diagram from your book knowledge management, which is the recommended book, Elias M. Awad and Hassan Ghaziri from the Pearson publications. This makes a lot more sense. As you could see, this is the knowledge capture. Here you have the capture tools, which is the actual this lecture all about. There could be programs, books, articles, and experts where from you actually get the knowledge. Okay, you can get the knowledge from the programs, you can get the knowledge from books, articles, or you can get the knowledge from the experts. Okay, but if it's a tacit knowledge, then it has to be the experts, in the head of the experts, right? So that there's the intelligence gathering also, and there could be the databases where from you can get the knowledge and you can put the knowledge too. Okay, you get the knowledge from the databases, already captured knowledge, and you when you capture the knowledge and you put that back into the database. Then when you have captured the knowledge, you need to codify it. That's gonna be our next unit. Okay, that means probably the third video after this. So that's going to be the knowledge codifications, because you want to now codify it, because you want to document it, you want to put it somewhere, so you can't put it in the air. Whatever the knowledge is captured, you elicit it from the brain of the expert, the knowledge that has to be codified. Okay, then you test that, you deploy that, you share that knowledge, and you transfer that knowledge into the knowledge base or databases or using the web browsers and all. Okay, this picture will get refined day by day, day in and day out. You get it more out of this picture. Okay, this picture should be you should print it and put it on the side of the wall, because every day you read knowledge management system and this picture gets clearer, clearer, and clearer. Now there are a lot of definitions of knowledge capture. Okay, what is a knowledge capture? So there are a lot of definitions of knowledge capture, because firstly, where is the knowledge? Okay, it's if we more specifically talk about the tacit knowledge, it is in the brain of that expert. So you need some kind of a tool to extract it, elicit it. So that's, we say, it's a process by which the experts thoughts and experiences are captured. Okay, so or we could say a knowledge developer collaborates with an expert, because who actually elicits that knowledge is the knowledge developer. So he collaborates with experts to convert expertise, that whatever the expertise is in that brain, into the coded form, because we have to code it. I just told you in this picture, we need to do the knowledge codification. After knowledge capture, we do knowledge codification. And who does it? It is the knowledge developer. It is the knowledge developer who does it, right? So this could also be the definition of knowledge capture. A knowledge developers collaborates with an expert to convert expertise into the coded program. Okay. Sometimes also saying as knowing how experts know what they know. So exactly. So you are trying to know how experts know what they know. It's also sometimes, in the definition, say we say it's an applied brain drain. Okay, it's an applied brain drain. You can say like that also. It also comes the definitions. We could have the tons of definitions of knowledge capture, but to simplify it, we define knowledge capture as a process by which the expert's thoughts and experiences are, right. So it is a sort of mind automation. We sometimes call it it's a mind automation, right? Okay. These are some how you want to improve the knowledge capture, right? Just read them, pause the video, read it, and we have three important steps. Okay, because the knowledge capture is a demanding mental process in which a knowledge developer collaborates with the expert to convert his expertise into the coded program, right? So we have a knowledge developer, and we have here the expert, and expert has all this that expertise we want actually elicit, right? So it's a mental process. What we say is knowledge capture is a demanding mental process in which who the knowledge developer collaborates with whom expert. Okay, collaborates with expert for what? Can you tell me for what? Just wake up, just be with me in the video. So knowledge developer collaborates with the expert, and we say it's a mental process. Okay? And where knowledge developer collaborates with the expert, answer me. For what? To convert that expertise which the expert has into coded form. So that coded form is our next unit. Okay. So we need codification of the knowledge. So this is what is it is all about. So there are three important steps. So you need to use an appropriate tool or technique to elicit information from the expert. You can't just go randomly and try to elicit information from the expert, their expertise. Rather, you need to use some proper tools and techniques. Then you need to interpret the information and infer the expert's knowledge and reasoning process, and use the interpretation to build rules that represent expert's solution. So first thing, you have to use the proper tools and techniques to elicit. It's very simple, right? Then you need to interpret the information and inferring the expert's underlying knowledge and that reasoning process of the expert. You need to infer that. Okay. Then using the interpretation, whatever you have interpreted here, okay, you use that interpretation here to build the rules that represent the expert's thought process or solutions. So you use the tools, you interpret whatever the expert has, and from that you actually build the rules that represent the expert's thought process or the solution or the expertise what the expert has. So that those rules are actually the codification, right? So now if you want to capture the tacit knowledge, you want to identify the expert. Okay. So who an expert can be? What is the expert's qualifications? The expert knows when to follow the hunches. What you mean is, the expert is the one who doesn't go by the facts only, but by his intuition. So he know how when to follow the hunches. He sees the big picture. He know everything. Okay. He see behind the scene, behind that what we call it, behind screen thing, that he know what's happening exactly, because many times users see only what screen is showing you, but expert also sees what is behind the screen. He possesses the good communication skills. He tolerates the stress. He's not the one who is going to bog it down. Okay. He thinks creatively. He exhibits self-confidence. He maintains credibility. These are the all uh, qualifications of experts. He operates Experts qualification also are that he operates with the schema driven orientation, that we have drawn that we want to go in this direction. Now he stays in that limit. He doesn't get scattered when we try to elicit information, right? Uses chunk knowledge, generates motivation, enthusiasm, shares expertise willingly. He's not the one who is arrogant. When we select an expert, basically, because there could be many experts, but if the expert is arrogant, he's not willing to share the knowledge. His communication skills are not good. He's not a schema driven orientation. When we do what does it mean? We're talking about one thing, he talks about some other thing, right? He doesn't stick to the topic. uh, so he doesn't use he's not using the chunker knowledge, rather than he use again this he scatters. Okay. And he is not emulating a good teacher habit, for example. So if he's not a good teacher kind of a thing, then he may be expert, but he may not be good for us as a knowledge developer. So we are talking about the experts, what is the expert's qualification doing here? Does it mean that is he an expert or not? No, we're not talking about that. We are saying whether he's a good expert for us as a knowledge developer, so that we can elicit information. So these qualifications are required so that that expert knowledge can be elicited and then later codified. Okay. If that expert doesn't have these things, it will be very tough to elicit information, right, from that expert. Now there's also a debate that should we go for a single expert or we should go for the multiple experts. Right. Now single experts are advantageous when it's ideal when you are building a very simple knowledge management system and the problem is very restricted one. It's not a varied multifaceted problem, so it's a simple problem. We can have one expert who can it's better to have a one expert there, and we can have an easier coordination for knowledge capture. We can coordinate with the one-on-one basis. Conflicts, if there are conflicts, are easy to resolve, ensures more confidentiality than does the multiple experts. Because if you are one-to-one, in that case, you can have the confidential. Maybe if you are two experts, then there may be some hesitation to share. In a single expert system, it's easier to actually share knowledge, right? Share those confidentialities. But there are some drawbacks. Okay. If there's a single expert, that expert's knowledge is not easy to capture, because and the single expert provides only one line of reasoning. But if you have multiple experts, you could have a multiple perspectives to the same problem, right? So that's the drawback. And a single expert more likely to change the scheduled meeting than experts in a team. But if in a team, then we know many people are coming. But if a single guy, he may change the schedule. He may change the schedule because he's only a single guy. Nobody is getting affected and all. That's also the drawback. And experts' knowledge is sometimes dispersed, means that it's not to the point sometimes, right? When it's a single expert. Now, if it's a complex problem, then we can't rely on a single expert. We need a multiple brains, okay, to work together. So you can have expertise of more than one experts, and this will also stimulate interaction, okay. And then it can go on a like a brainstorming kind of a thing where it can go in a discussion modes and where multiple experts can talk on a same problem, so we can have a different perspectives and different reasonings or different solutions to the same problems, and that's much better. But it's usually used if we have uh, a complex problem. Now, this allows alternative ways of presenting knowledge, right? Formal meeting of 10, a better environment for generating thoughtful contributions, right? So everybody, when the experts start talking each other and everybody's an expert, so it will generate a more better environment for knowledge generation. Now, I may come, the disperse we say, and why we need a multiple experts. I will just wanna do a little more on this dispersed. Expert knowledge is sometimes dispersed because if we have a single expert, say consider we have a you know uh, example of in a medical science. Okay, we have the people trained, they're experts. Okay, one of our experts is on radiology. He's expert in X-rays and all. Okay, another expert is having training in the gynecology. Another is expert in internal medicine. Another is expert in some emergency services, and many more. There are many more experts which are working in a hospital. Okay. Now, when you have a medical knowledge management system, it needs to draw upon community knowledge base and integrate expertise from different areas to be successful. Okay. So if you have a single expert in this case, if you talk about single expert and you see that he can have a knowledge of all those things, it's not realistically, it cannot address the problem. So we need multiple experts if it is a complex problem, because even though it's a single patient who is coming to the hospital, but to understand the solution and to understand the problem, to understand the expertise, how to generate the knowledge, okay, we need multiple experts to have their perspectives on a same problem, okay, on a same issue. We need to have a multiple experts working together. So otherwise the single expert will be dispersed because there will be some black spots where that expert can't talk about, okay, and we can't have a solution, right? Now when we have the experts, multiple experts working together, it can give us, benefit. Definitely it's going to benefit us because we are having different perspectives from different expertise and different experts sharing their expertise. A pool of experts is most often needed to capture sufficient reliable knowledge to build complex knowledge management system, right? And when you work together, experts work together, they often produce and synthesize uh, an experience which is really helpful. So it will enrich the quality of knowledge capture, right? And we can have an alternate ways of representing the knowledge because it's well known. We said that two halves are usually better than one. Now, at the same time, there are some drawbacks, right? The first is the coordination. Okay, you want to coordinate meeting between more experts, and because these experts are in demand, okay. Uh, Now, each expert on a team will probably have compromise in order for a group meeting to be arranged. Now that gives a scheduling problem, right? Now there are the disagreements which frequently occur among experts. So you have more number of experts on a panel. Uh, they should agree on a procedure or a solution. There is a higher chance of actually the disagreement. So if the diversity of opinion does not resolve into the consensus, if there's no consensus, and so now everybody is talking differently. One is saying one thing, second is saying second thing, because everybody has their own expertise and own way of thinking. Then the project could be in a danger, right? It could be in a jeopardy. So disagreements are bound to occur there. Now, if you have a more number of people involved, it may be harder to retain confidentiality. You also need to have a more than one knowledge developer. You can't have just a single knowledge developer to handle the situation. Okay. Now we say process loss in determining a solution. What is that? Because we have an overlapping mental process of multiple experts, which can lead to the process loss. What does that mean? Because when two or more experts get together, the nature of the discussion tend to overlap. Okay, and the problem solving process can be covered by the other experts' opinions. Okay, sometimes it we are not in a position to tell that whose solution of which expert's solution is closest, right? So in that scenario, the process is lost. That's all for today, and we will continue this lecture series and see you in the next lecture. Until then, masalam.